Hello, I'm about to show you all how to start off editing in Final Cut Pro. So first you want to go down and find Final Cut Pro, and you'll see you have a clapboard or a slate board with a red line through it. So you click on that, and depending on your computer's processor that particular day, it may come on right away, it may not. Okay, excuse me, I'm finally back. The announcements came on, but here's where we want to start. So once we get our computer set up to make sure our files go to a certain place, we have to remember this. This is something very important. When you're about to edit, always save your project first, because Final Cut Pro will save it as something called an untitled project. And if you begin to capture video and not save your project until you're done capturing all your video, and for some reason you need to find your video or move your video to another location, you will make it extremely difficult to move it. It can be moved, but it will be very difficult. My procedure says save your project first, and we're about to edit, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to go to File, and I want you to look up here on this tab, this browser tab. It says Untitled Project 1. We don't want that. We want to change that. So I'm going to go to File and go to Save Project As. And now I'm going to pick a spot. I would suggest that we put it in Documents. But where don't we want to put it? In here. We don't want to put it here. We can make our own folder. I'm going to call this SGA Elections. And I have Hakeem's tape, so I'm going to put Hakeem. And I'm going to create a folder. Now realize I still have not saved the project. I just made a folder for it. Now I'm going to call it SGA Elections and do the same thing, Hakeem. Now the reason why I'm saving this folder, because he's going to have to put music in this folder and maybe other things. But here's the actual project. We know it's the Final Cut Pro project because the extension of the file is FCP, and that stands for Final Cut Pro. So save. And now if you look up here on this tab, it says SGA Elections Hakeem, and that lets us know that we're ready to roll. So in order to capture video from a tape, I've already put my tape into my capture device. I'm going to go to File, and you'll see that it's a place called Log and Capture. And usually I don't do this. I just actually press Command 8, the number 8, because those are your shortcuts. Everything that you see on the right side here are your shortcuts. But for this time, I'll just click on it, and a window is going to open called the Log and Capture window. You can see it here, Log and Capture. Let's center it. Okay, it's telling us right now how much free space we have, 174 gigabytes. If it was under 10, I would suggest not trying to capture because the computer probably will crash. And you'll see that over here in the corner, it has already made a bin. It says log bin. That's where you want your files to go, and it's called SGA Elections Hakeem. Real 001. Now, normally what goes in that spot is whatever you wrote on the spine label of your tape. But I'm going to leave that at 0111. And okay, right now there is the counter here telling us that our video is 55 seconds into whatever the last thing is he shot. I'm going to rewind this tape. People, please don't forget to rewind your tape. If you shot something and you're trying to find it, rewind it. And a lot of times I ask you to rewind it using the J key. Now, some of you all have no idea what this is about because you haven't had this class before, but the J key rewinds the video while it's playing. So I'm going to go ahead and press J one time on my keyboard, and we're not having anything happen yet. Oh, there we go. It is happening. So as you can see, it's playing, and the numbers are moving backwards. Now, I would not suggest doing this for video that you shot that lasts over 5 minutes because it takes too long. And there's a second time he shot. You see the numbers started over. And I believe this might be the first video he shot. To guarantee that, we see it went back to color bars. I didn't press anything, so that's the very beginning of the tape. All right, so what I'm going to do is show you how to capture your video. Now, so what I'm going to do is put some kind of description. I want you to look over here in this part. We have 3 tabs here: logging, clip settings, capture settings. Let me show you something about clip settings. Right now, these 2 boxes that are checked is telling us that when we capture, it's going to capture video and audio. Okay, we want that. But we might also want to hear what we are capturing. If you click on the box for preview, it allows us to hear while it's capturing. And let's go back to logging. All right, now I'm just gonna put posters for this, posters. That's the only description I want to give now because I'm gonna go a little quick. And I'm gonna do this. Now this is how you capture, one way to capture in Final Cut Pro. This is the way I'm gonna show you in this one. You press play, or you can press the space bar. You can read this little part that says space bar. So you put the cursor over it, says play, or use the space bar. I'm gonna actually use the space bar to play my video, and there's an area here called capture. I wanna capture it now. So here's the key part about capturing. You have to play it and have numbers moving in your counter here before you press now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my hand to press play using the space bar, and as soon as I see video and the numbers moving, I'm going to press now. So space bar and now. So now we have video capturing. And I can hear that there's some static in it, and it says we have encountered a problem reading the data on your source tape. This could be due to a problem with the tape. Capture has been aborted. Your clip has been saved. So that means that there's a problem with that. Now that's going to happen sometime. That is why I want you to always make sure that when you go out to shoot, that before you leave my room, that you check your camera, because these cameras will get dirty. If you leave these cameras open while you're taking tapes in and out for too long, they can get dirty. Plus, if you put tapes in your pocket, it can get dirty. What I'm going to go ahead and do is show you where this clip showed up at. I'm going to click over here on this window, and it's called our browser. And you see now our browser has this clip called posters, and the duration is 6 seconds and 17 frames. If I want to watch that video, I will double click on it, and it shows up in the window called our viewer, and I can play it. And you heard the audio break. That's how I know that something happened during that recording or during that playback. And that could very well cause major problems in editing. So what I'm going to do now is just go back to log and capture by just clicking on the window. I want you to know something about Final Cut Pro. The window that you're using will be brighter. Now look at this top part. See how the log and capture looks? And this part is bright behind it, the background, and then up here where it says viewer, it's dark. If I click on it, how it brightens up, that's how you know which window you're in. So that has a lot to do when you're trying to save stuff, when you're trying to do anything. But let's go back to log and capture. Okay, let's go ahead and try to play again. So what am I going to do? I'm going to press the space bar, and I'm going to press now. And okay, let's see. It's going to stop again because I hear that staticky sound. Yes, it did. So click OK. It captured 5 seconds worth of stuff that time. Now you'll notice that this next clip doesn't just say posters, it says posters 1. That's how this computer captures. And you'll see the next one it captures is going to say posters 2. Now I'm going to go ahead and just take this video. I'm going to close this log and capture and just show you how to edit something. Okay, let's say I want to have poster, this one first. Okay, now this is our window we're in now. It's called our viewer. This is where we trim the video. This is where we can trim it to make it be the length we want it to be, pick the part that we want. So I'm going to go ahead and say I don't want all 5 seconds of this. I'm going to go ahead, because this is how long. This tells you the duration. This is the counter. This is the duration. Okay, so I'm going to say I don't want the very beginning of it. I want to start it, let's say here. Or maybe I do. Let's just play it until we hear that noise. So let's say I want to start at the very beginning. To start at the very beginning, I can either click on this button here, and it says mark in. You'll also see that it says -I, which means I can press I to also set a point. Now, you'll see what happens when I click on this. Boom. See this mark? That's a point of where we want the video to start. I press I to get that to happen, or I can click here. And if you guessed it, the one next to it is out. So we know we're probably going to end up getting out right around here. I think that's where I heard the sound mess up. So let's try it. A little bit earlier, right here. Right here. So I want to stop it here. So I want to press O or click here. And then there's a mark here. So it tells you the video that we're going to use now was 5 seconds, but now it's 1 second. People, honestly, 1 second is too quick, but I'm just going to go ahead and do this because I need to get this done. Now, in order to edit, I've trimmed the clip. Now I want to put it on our timeline. I have options. I can drag it down, and what I can do is take my cursor, click on the video, and you see a little small representation of that entire screen shows up. And then I can take that cursor, now this is video here, and place it on video track 1. When you're editing, start off in video track 1, and if you're trying to layer video, like have more than one video on the screen at one time, then you start to use the other tracks. That's what you need to do. So I'm going to let go. Notice that my cursor is actually on video track 1. Let go, and now there's video over here in our canvas, and that's our completed type of project. Now I'm not going to move this because I'm going to go to the first one, posters without the one in it, and I want to get a shot of this. Let's play through this. Okay, I'm going to stop this one around here because I heard it make a sound. Now I don't have to do the out or the in. I don't have to do the in first. I can do the out first. I can just press O and say I want to have the clip be from there to there. And that's what I'm going to do. And it tells me the duration of that clip is basically 3 seconds. Okay, 2 seconds and 28 frames. Now what I can do is I can hold my cursor down over this, press the button, the mouse click button, and I can slide it over here and let go of it. Now some of you all are going to notice that you're going to see some things where the arrow goes right and the arrow goes down. I'm going to show you what that means in a second. Let go, and we have 2 clips. And now I can play them back to back. Now realize something. There's a playhead. This thing here is called a playhead. I can only move it when I hold down my cursor in the area where the counter is or where the numbers are. If I try to move it here, nothing happens. And if I click on the little yellow line and move it, I can move it all day long, right? I'm gonna move it to the front, and then I'm gonna press what to play it? Space bar. And that is simple editing. Okay, so one more time. To bring a clip down, you click on it and hold it and bring it down and place it on a timeline. Now, this would be a bad edit because this will represent black. Watch this. That's awful, horrible. But anyhow, I'm gonna delete that. Oh, well, I'll show you more stuff about deleting. But anyway, you know how to draw a box. You hold down your cursor and like make a shape. Whatever is in the highlighted part, it will highlight it, and you can press delete. All right, that's all for this one. I'll talk to you all later.